Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, dear viewers, wherever you happen to be around the world. This is Stuart B. Fields, B for Big, Hairy, Audacious Goal, or B for Breakthrough. I am here today with Sherry McCool, and she and I have been working with each other over the past year and then some. Having met in a professional development program. I'm going to ask Sherry to introduce herself, then we'll come back to a little bit more about how we met, and then Sherry's got something really interesting to share with all of you viewers and listeners out there, and I will pass it back to Sherry. Sherry, go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Thanks, Stuart. Hi, Sherry McCool here. Excited to be here today and to continue this work with Stuart. Stuart and I met at a Jack Canfield event, as he said, about a year plus ago. And I have great passion for continuing to do the work that I experienced with Jack Canfield initially in 2000. No, let me go back further than that, into my career with Marriott. I, for many years, was a general manager with Marriott Hotels on the regional team and then at corporate headquarters. In fact, I think it was about 34 years I was with Marriott. But staff meetings can be really tedious and boring at the hotel. And I came across a Canfield book, A Chicken Soup for the Soul. And I was so impressed by that work, I took it to staff meeting and read one of the stories. And the managers were so impressed, they were more attentive to that story than anything else during the meeting. And one of them came up to me and said, "Hey, can we do that again next week?" And I said, "Sure, here's the book, pick out a story." And that evolved into a tradition that lasted for us for a couple of years, where we passed the book around every week to someone else on the team, and they picked out a story that was meaningful to them. And many times we'd end a staff meeting with a few unexpected tears, but always with a sense of being inspired. And I'm grateful to have worked for a company, Marriott Hotels, where I had the opportunity to feel inspired by the work that I did, to enjoy the people that I worked with, and in 2004 to create McCool Consulting and continue to work with Marriott and with Marriott Vacation Club and the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority on Wall Street, and do some other fun things, and continue to grow my talent, skills, and abilities, most recently with the cultural tools, cultural transformation tools with Richard Barrett and Kathleen Seeley's work. So excited
Super.
about this.
Sherry, thanks so much. You mentioned 34 years with Marriott. What was your position there?
My last position was at corporate headquarters, and that was Vice President of Human Resources for North America Lodging Operations.
Okay.
But I moved to headquarters as from the general manager, market GM from St. Louis, as the VP of Human Resource Development. Our target goal was to increase the number of women and minorities in key leadership positions. And we did some incredible work on that. And I'm proud of the fact that Marriott continues to stay focused on enlarging that work.
Oh, super. So a lot of your work then, and a lot of your career was built around the human resources field.
Well, a lot of my work was in market. So I started as in the reservations department, and back at that time, Marriott only had 9 hotels. So it was pretty exciting to be a part of a company that was growing and expanding. My background is in education. So instead of working with children, I worked with adults. who often behaved like children. But and that didn't matter which side of the desk I was on, whether it
Mm,
was on the employee side or the customer side. But it was being able to respond to what the needs were and of the individuals, and to recognize that. My grandmother lived to be 103,
mm,
and I once asked her, if being in the hotel business, was I was somehow compromising what was important, as opposed to being a teacher. And she said, any work done in the spirit of service is worship to God.
mm.
And that was a belief that she held strongly, and it helped me frame up how I chose to be as a leader, the focus that I chose to have, whether it was as a general manager, which I did lots of places. And so the bulk of my career was in market,
Okay.
managing a business
Oh,
and
beautiful.
helping people. Uh, um, Helping people align with a shared vision and to understand what they did every day was important for our success.
Oh, beautiful. And what a story in itself. I mean, that I could just listen to you and your background and how much you've learned along the way. So thank you so much for sharing. It is, as you mentioned, Sherry, you and I were together for this about a year and a half together with a Jack Canfield Train the Trainer program. And within that, towards the end of our certification, we had an idea for a collaborative project. And I understand that you'd like to share more about that collaborative project and where we're going with that, and just how much of a big, hairy, audacious goal, as I introduced myself, this might have been, and what your role is in that. So I'll pass it back to you and go ahead and share with us a little bit more about this project.
Thanks, Stuart. Certainly, when I signed up for the Train the Trainer Live with Jack, what I thought I would get is my certification, greater comfort zone, being on stage, meeting and creating some friendships with people. And I was excited about that because I had been with Jack for Breakthrough to Success a couple of times, and had uh, done the Train the Trainer online. So it was really exciting to walk in there that first day and meet you and the other 49 people that were in our class, and to tell you what I got was far beyond the certificate that hangs on my wall. What I received was what often takes years and years to create, and that is the connection with you and with the other members,
Mm,
particularly those that I have had the opportunity to work on the book with. But it is a connection from a heart level with a shared vision about making a difference, about helping other people achieve their highest good, and to recognize that accomplishing that doesn't um, doesn't always come easily. And yet, what I have as a result of my Train the Trainer and the time that I spent with you and the others is the realization I am not alone, and we are there for each other. I'm very grateful to Angie Dobransky, who stood up on stage that last day and said to all of us, I have a dream I want to share with you. And I believe that we each have told stories in this week, in the first week that we were together, that are powerful and meaningful and can change the lives of others. And what I want us to do is to step up and collaborate and create a book together. Are you in this with me? And we stood up and we said yes. And the amazing part is the willingness that, and what the total number turned out to be is 38.
Mhm.
38 of us were willing um, to put in our sweat equity, to put in our heart story, to put in even a bit of our financial resources to make it happen. And, and the book is progressing because of the love that came out of the courage that Angie had to stand up on that last day and invite us all to be in that journey with her. And what I have found is the collaboration of this effort is what's the biggest takeaway from the trainer that I've received, and how it has challenged me to develop skills and to watch other people develop theirs and be encouraging uh, for that.
No, and I agree. And I'm looking at your background here and seeing all of the different references and mementos that you have on your wall, and they probably have significance, just like the stories in the book. And what maybe you can share with us a little bit of your background collection of very eclectic and beautiful art, and then reference maybe the book title, and we can bring it forward from there.
And I think that that's spot on, that life is full of just so many amazing, wonderful things. And I don't, in my home at this time, I don't need to try and make it look one way or another. Um, the car right there was a
Mhm.
gift from me to me from my dearest forever friend Rita, and I I refer to it as the Cuba Car. It looks like it's off of a street in Havana,
Mhm.
and but it's one of those big and bold things, and you can see that it's been through so much, but it is still there and strong and vibrant, and just as other things that are um, part of the collection of my life that have come to me from traveling, that have come to me as gifts, and they've all been gifts from life. And that's how I look at the book. That the stories that are in our book, Life Lessons in Success, are absolutely that. They are a collection of the lives of 38 people, one story from each person, talking about what is powerful and meaningful, what was a breakthrough for them, what was a turning point, um, what has enabled them to have that moment of clarity. It's a very special book. I've had the opportunity to read all the chapters more than once because my assignment, I thought I was being so clever. I signed up for the project management committee and because I didn't have marketing skills or editing skills, so I signed up for that one. And as it turned out, I then ended up with the book assembly committee, providing oversight for that. And it is so exciting to read all of those stories more than once as we create order and structure for this book, so that people will really have the opportunity to find themselves and be inspired by our life lessons in success.
Oh, beautiful. And I can certainly agree with you on that too, Sherry, because as part of the editing committee, I had a chance to read all of the stories and found them just so inspirational, so beautiful, and so deeply sharing of people's emotions in their past. We have just a few minutes left, and I'd like to close and let people know how maybe they can find this book and how they can get in touch with you, some other things that you might be able to do to help you grow your consulting business. How might people get in touch with you, and how would they find the book? Is there a website or some way that we can connect them to that? And if not, I will certainly, in the bottom of the YouTube channel, you'll find that there are links to these references as well for how to get in touch. So how will people get in touch with you, Sherry?
Hi, Sherry McCool at AOL.com and Sherry McCool Consulting. You can look for me on LinkedIn. Certainly, McCool Consulting has a great Facebook page. And Stuart is going to post for you information on finding life lessons in success, because the next two committees are going to make sure that it is out there everywhere. Our marketing and our PR and our social media committees, who have awesome leadership, are going to make sure that life lessons in success is something you hear about and are anxious to read. And I'm looking forward to that. My chapter is currently called You're Out of Order. And it's about a moment in my life where I received some unexpected, rather negative feedback, and how that feedback allowed me to make some changes that have been powerful and meaningful. And it's the reminder that so often in life, we get way more negative feedback than we do yay, woohoo feedback. And if I had been unwilling to hear and receive that feedback, I could have easily have stayed off course. And that's how my story, I hope you will find some relevance in that. But this isn't the first time I've had the opportunity to do some work as a result of Jack, because I still have my success breakthroughs. I do have a story in this book with Jack.
Oh,
So
cool.
this collaborative effort has been a follow-up to that, but it's way beyond, because this one I have sweat equity in, and I share this from a heart level with every single author in this book. And I know every single story comes from a person I love and care about.
Oh, Sherry, and we love you. Hugs to you as well. Thank you so much for sharing this time with us and the viewers today. Maybe there's one parting piece of advice that you can offer. Is there something that from your 42 years plus experience and that and then some? What you offer our viewers?
There are two things. Never underestimate the importance of comfortable shoes. During my 34 years with Marriott, I would repeatedly be interviewed by newspapers and magazines, and they'd say, "What do you tell us?" And it's like, you can't think if your feet hurt, okay? So always wear comfortable shoes. And the second thing would be never, ever, ever give up on your dreams.
Oh, beautiful,
Go
beautiful.
make them happen.
Sherry, thank you so much. Much appreciate this time together, and I'm looking forward to the next time we meet soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Stuart.
Bye-bye.